things my mom would say and ways my dad would act. And I think it just became, they're the enemy. These are the people I'm fighting against.
Yeah.
They don't want me to be happy. In that, I was victimizing myself as if, I was the person being hurt. I was the person being told all these things when in reality, I think I was just selfish.
Annalise, thanks for coming in and sitting down. Tell me a little bit. I'm looking across at somebody with these beautiful eyes and a big smile on your face, and it wasn't like that when you first got here, was it?
Mm-mm.
What was going on?
I think there were just a lot of things. I hated my parents, smoking a lot, drinking a lot.
Okay, so what do you think was behind all that? I mean, the hating your parents and drinking and smoking, and what was going on?
I think, there were things that happened kind of when we were in D.C. and just just things there that were said, and I think it was
said
just kind of by my parents, and,
okay.
Things they didn't mean. And
Yeah.
I think there was just a lot of pain and hurt on my side to them and on their side to me. So
you moved. I mean, you moved from Washington, D.C. to Lubbock, Texas.
Well, we actually, I was born and raised in Lubbock, Texas, and then we moved to D.C. and then moved back.
Oh, okay.
So,
and the move was just hard.
Yeah, I think it was just hard on our whole family.
Why is that?
I think, we had lived in this place where we grew up. We knew everybody. We had friends. We had family. And then we moved to this place. We didn't know anybody. We didn't have a good community, and it was just hard.
Okay, so what was spinning inside of you that caused you to start doing all that stuff?
I think in the beginning it was peer pressure almost, just me wanting to find these friends and make them, impress them. And I think that's where it started, and it led to me just using these things to just cope with.
Yeah. Okay, did you ever get to a point where you were going, okay, I got to quit doing this? Or was it, this isn't good for me? Or did you feel guilty at any time? Or when you went to sleep at night, you were going, was it any of that? Or was it just, it doesn't matter?
Always in the back of my head, the friends I was hanging out, the people I was with, I always thought in the back of my head, I don't want to go down this path that they're going down. They are going nowhere in life.
Yeah.
But it was just I didn't want to stop, and I was just I'll stop later. Later in life when I actually have a job, when I go to college, and it just got to the point where I was I was watching everything fall apart in my life, and I was just well, I can smoke some weed, I can drink, You
think you just got caught up in it and it didn't matter anymore, and so you would do more, and then when you started to feel a sense of guilt that you just started to do more to kind of run from that?
Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so your parents, you guys are falling apart. Do you get along with your parents now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And they're kind of fun. The time I've spent with them, I kind of like them. I'm going, I really like your mom and dad. I think your mom's hilarious and your dad's a kick. And I go, so when you look at that, what do you feel about getting to a point where you hated your parents?
I think, things my mom would say and, ways my dad would act. And I think it just became where I was they're the enemy. These are the people I'm fighting against.
Yeah.
And they don't want me to be happy. They don't want me to be, good. And it was almost I think I was in that I was victimizing myself as if, I was the person being hurt. I was the person, being told all these things when in reality, I think I was just selfish.
Yeah. You think they could have done anything different?
You know, I think in the beginning, you know, from 8th grade to about freshman year, I think they were very like restrictive of us, and you know, they took our phones. You know, we had to fight to get them back, and it was just like this battle with them that could never be won, and I feel like I think hatred sprung from that.
Wow.
But I really do think I saw a change in them years before Heartlight.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. Here, there's a couple of things. One, that you would fight to get your phones back, that you hated them for taking them away, and you were saying that you were smoking and doing things because you didn't want to lose the friend. Evidently, friends are very important to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think kind of a driving force in your life?
I think in the beginning it was.
Yeah.
Especially like in Virginia when I was trying to find these friends.
Yeah.
But I think once I got back to Lubbock and the people I thought were my friends and I grew up with weren't there for me anymore and didn't really want anything to do with me, it was just kind of like, well, you know, the people that cared about me most, they all smoked weed, they all drank.
So you're just trying to find somebody to connect with.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, do you think that your generation has a little bit different perspective on communication and phones and relationships and all that?
Oh, 100%.
In what way?
I think, you know, my parents, they always tell us, you know, we had, you know, block phones and everybody was always on the line. Our parents could cut us off. And it was just kind of like, now we have access to social media and talking to friends whenever we want. And I think it's completely different than my
okay.
parents.
So you come to Heartlight and you develop relationships with people here. What have you found about relationships?
There's so much more to them than I ever thought there was. I mean, there's more to people, and you know, I just realize how surface level the relationships I had, and how my friendships was based around having fun, and that, you know, if I was like, man, I don't know if I should do this, they were like, no, like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I just think for a long time I thought, you know, friendships are people who just love you and want to be around you and want to have fun. And I've realized here that there's so much more. It's about being with them in the hard times and about holding them accountable even when it's hard. Telling them things that they may not want to hear in the moment. Yeah. And I'm thankful for the relationships I've gotten to have here.
Wow. And you haven't had a phone. And you haven't had access to social, you know, communications and networking, and you haven't had the pressures of that. And not that I'm against that. I'm not an anti-world or anti-tech kind of guy, but I do think it's interesting to watch because you have so many friends here. It's unbelievable. And everybody loves you. I mean, it's, to me, I don't hear anybody going, wow, that Annalise, gosh, she's a jerk. I don't hear that. And it's funny to me, the depth of relationships that you've created here in the absence of the way everybody else creates relationships. And that's the one thing I hear over and over and over about everybody at Heartlight, how you've grown to love one another. So that's been kind of cool.
Yeah. And I think on the phone thing, it's kind of like I don't miss it. I don't miss having social media or having that pressure on me. Yeah. I don't miss it. Even though when I got here, I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna miss, talking to people online, taking pictures, whatever. Yeah. And it's like I don't miss it at all.
Well, cool. Hey, well, look, thanks for coming in and sharing your story and telling us a little bit about you. Thank you so much for being a part. And the orange on you just looks unbelievable.
Well, thanks.
It looks really good. Thanks. You bet.
All right.